Yes, yes.
Another week. So much going on in the world of sports. I'm your host, Jason Flake. My co host, Lance Reynolds, aka the People's Champ.
What up, though?
We like to start the show the same way, man. Thanking the Everybody Has One family for another great week of engagement. Thousands of views on the YouTube channel, man. Uh, Plenty of comments, all kinds of shares, plenty of likes. Um, y'all continue to like, share, and subscribe, man. That's Everybody Has the number one sports podcast on YouTube. Everybody Has One spelled out sports podcast everywhere else. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, that's Threads, and that's TikTok. Make sure y'all checking all of those social sites. Y'all following us and friending us on all of them. If there are topics that you would like to hear, please make sure that y'all hit us in those direct messengers. When y'all watching the videos and the shorts, make sure y'all watch them in their entirety and make sure that you share them on your social media sites, man. That'll be greatly, greatly appreciated. We appreciate the Everybody Has One family. Obviously, none of this is possible without you. And before we get into our topics, man, I want to give a shout out, man, to my hero. And this is a sports related, personal topic for me, man. The West Side Cubs organization. I'll give a little bit of background on that. It's a prominent youth football and cheer organization here in the city of Detroit. It was founded in 1957. So the story goes that it started as a youth baseball team. And a couple of the young men playing for that baseball team decided that they would like to play football. And so one of the coaches took them over to one of the youth football teams in operation at the time. And they were promptly informed that blacks were not allowed on the team. And then it was later found out that none of the other teams allowed black players either. So that necessitated the formation of the West Side Cubs football program. Many of the West Side Cubs have gone on to play professionally in both the NFL and the major leagues. Some of them are playing and coaching in the NFL currently, but most importantly, a lot of them have gone on to become productive members of society, many of them. I say all that to say that my father and my hero, of course, will be inducted into the West Side Cubs Hall of Fame this coming June, and I am so very proud of him. And we go to the banquet every year together. Obviously, I will be in attendance this year, covering that, and there obviously to support him and cheer him on. For those of you who don't know, my father is a retired surgeon now. He practiced general surgery. He did his undergraduate work at Howard University. He went to medical school at Wayne State University School of Medicine. He did his residency at the Detroit Medical Center, which is now known as Tenet. And he was a general surgeon for nearly 35 years in practice here in Southeast Michigan. And about the last 10 to 15 years of his career, he specialized in breast disease, the treatment of breast disease, breast cancer, fibroadenomas, not to get too deep in the woods there. But and my grandfather was also a general surgeon. So very, very proud of my father and him being inducted into the West Side Cubs Hall of Fame. My father obviously was one of the boys that played football on the West Side Cubs. Took a lot of those lessons with him as he grew up into a man and into manhood, and that's a very great achievement for him. Being a man now in his 70s, and again, I'm so very proud of that. I wanted to make sure that we shared that here. Only Everybody Has One podcast.
Yeah, man. Congratulations, Dr. Flake.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Now, was he one of those original, young boys that broke off from the baseball team to?
No, he wasn't one of those originals.
Okay.
He came shortly thereafter.
Okay, because I was just kind of doing the math in my head. Like, okay, yeah. That's cool though, man. That's I'm sure he probably was familiar with those guys though.
Most definitely. Yep. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep, and I appreciate that, and and definitely we'll keep y'all posted, man. We'll be posting plenty of content regarding that on the social sites, man. So y'all make sure y'all keep up with that. And obviously, footage from the banquet itself, we'll be putting that on the social sites as well as on the YouTube channel.
Black tie edition.
Yes, indeed. Let's get into the NFL though, man. This was championship weekend, man. Both of us went 1-1, obviously. I picked New England to win the AFC Championship game. You picked Seattle to win the NFC Championship game. Obviously, we both took the other team in the other game.
Yeah.
New England did end up beating the Broncos. We'll start with the AFC 10-7. In a low-scoring affair marked by a second half impacted by weather, snowy and windy conditions, making it nearly impossible to throw the ball at one point. Jarrett Stidham did go 17 for 31, 133 yards, a touchdown, and an interception late in the game. Drake Maye was 10 to 21, 86 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but he did rush 10 times for 65 yards and a touchdown. So let's talk about the New England turnaround. Is the turnaround a result of them being one of the best run organizations? Was it luck or was it a little bit of both? And then were the elements responsible for the outcome? Did it help one team or hurt one team more than it did the other, man? What say the people's champ?
Well, yeah, I definitely think it was a little bit of both.
Okay.
You know, let's just be real about it. I mean, injuries are a part of the game, especially when you're talking football. But I believe without question, if Bo Nix is there, the Broncos win that game.
That's a reasonable assessment.
But that said, I was really disappointed, truthfully, in the one guy going into this game on the Denver side, going into it that I had the most confidence in, and that was Sean Payton.
Yeah.
I thought he did a disservice to Jared Stidham in that game, particularly in the second half. Because trust and believe, had I known it was going to be Snowmageddon in the second half of the game, and they were going to insist to continue to throw the ball downfield,
right?
And hell no, I wouldn't have picked him to win the game. You know, I mean, I was just really perplexed by that. I found that peculiar because, I mean, Sean Payton has proven, you know, over time to be, you know, an astute football mind.
Yeah.
And to just do that with, you know, your backup, who you would think you would want to tailor a game plan where you would put them in a, you know, in the most advantageous situation is possible throughout the game.
Sure.
Especially when you're dealing with inclement weather. So I was taken aback by that.
Yeah, and also a lot was made of him going for it on 4th and 1 early in the game, on his own 14-yard line, not taking the points right there. And obviously, you know, that those 3 points being the difference in the game. The one thing that I will say that I think he was right about, ultimately, he was proven to be right about, is he said, he basically, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, is he basically said, I thought 14 points would basically be enough.
Yeah.
He said, I thought that would be the death blow, basically. And again, I'm paraphrasing him, but he says something to that effect. And I did agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think he was off at all.
Yeah, he was like, I thought 14 points would basically be insurmountable for New England. Like if we could get the 14 right there. And so I agree with that. I thought that.
So that's how you felt going into the game.
Well, no, he was saying that in that 4th and 1 situation.
Yeah,
he was like, I felt like if we could get to 14 there, he was like, that would have been likely insurmountable, you know. And again, I'm paraphrasing. You can go and listen to his post-game presser. I don't have his exact wording, but he basically said, I felt like if we could get to 14 right there, that likely would have been insurmountable.
And he'd have been right.
Yeah, he would have been. I agree. I think that I don't think there was any way that New England was going to score 2 touchdowns.
That game got ugly.
Yeah, it did. It got really nasty. What about the weather conditions, though? Do you think that those impacted the outcome of the game, and do you think it helped one team or hurt one team more than the other?
Well, I believe it definitely it hurt Denver because did they miss 2 field goals?
They definitely missed the one.
I believe it was 2 field. I believe it was one late in the first half and then one in the second half.
Yep, and the one was blocked. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the one was blocked. It was tipped.
Yes.
But to your point, I think after the game, I'm pretty sure, and nephew could fact check me on it, but I'm pretty sure he said that they were lined up 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage instead of 8, and that was impacted by the snow because they couldn't see the yard markers. And the reason that they lined up 8 yards instead of 7 is because you need that distance from there to the line of scrimmage so that blocks are not.
Someone comes and blocks
Exactly. So yeah, no, that's
like 6 points there. So.
Yeah. With respect to both of those items, yeah, prior to the season, I looked it up, and the Patriots were they had
real quick. It was 2 missed field goals.
It was 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
4 altogether.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by both teams.
Yeah, because I know New England missed 1. I wasn't sure if they missed 2. Okay. All right.
Prior to the season, the Patriots were they had 60-1 odds to win the conference, which is unbelievable. So I mean, this is absolutely an all-time turnaround. And I will say again that Bob Kraft is who Jerry Jones thinks he is.
Yeah, for sure, because he definitely cracked open the checkbook.
Yes,
he chopped some heads off.
Yep,
immediately. He, and like you always say, the time is now.
The future is now.
The future is now.
Yeah, absolutely. So aside from Drake Maye, they basically missed on the 2024 draft, but they didn't sit around in denial like the Lions.
Right. Facts.
They essentially started moving right away. They fired Gerard Mayo. They promoted Elliott Wolf to executive VP of player personnel shortly after the draft. They spent $350 million in free agency this past offseason. We talked about that. And they hit on their 2025 draft picks. Now they headed to the Super Bowl. I say all of that to say if you are decisive and deliberate, you can certainly turn things around quickly. That's the good news for Lions fans, which we are. We can get this turned around very quickly if we handle our business.
Quick question.
Yes.
Since you touched on the Lions, how do you feel about the Kafka signing? The what is it? The high-ranking offensive role. They didn't really name what exactly.
Now he was the interim in New York, right?
Yes.
That him? Okay. I'm interested to see how all of these new offensive voices are going to work together. Again, I don't have an opinion other than to say I would like to wait for everybody to be available.
Right.
Now, again, that doesn't mean that I don't think these guys will be a good fit or that, people aren't doing their due diligence. I just would like to get every voice available in the room. So, I like that they're adding some additional voices.
Right. Okay.
So when I saw that, I was like, okay, let's get some additional voices in the room. Let's see, you do fear that you don't want to have too many voices.
That's I didn't want to say fear, but I was kind of wondering, like, when the role, like I said, this could be happening across many locker rooms.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of team personnel across the league that maybe I don't know about. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, is he kind of like plan B?
Right. I mean, because of the way things worked out this year, right? Are they hedging
is he
the Petsic signing? Yeah, it's hard to say. I couldn't.
Or are they building like a cabal of offensive minds? Are they doing that? Like I said, is that like kind of the new wave? I don't know. But
I'm up for whatever.
Yeah,
as long as it looks better.
Checks a lot of boxes. You know what I mean?
As long as it looks better than it did.
He's bringing some Kansas City drip with him, so that could only help.
But to continue on about New England, New England's defense in the playoffs is number 1 in points allowed with 8.7. They number 1 in rush yards with 71 per game, and they number 3 in total yards allowed with 210. This New England team is the first team in history to go 9-0 on the road. And, of course, our Lions went 8-0 on the road last season.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, we played 9 home games. They went from 4 wins last year to the Super Bowl, and they only have 2 Pro Bowlers. So, again, we can get things turned around quickly. That's the moral to the story, is that if you're decisive and not in denial, they weren't in denial about their 2024 draft, though.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Brad Holmes sat around in denial about the 2024 draft.
Right.
Didn't want to admit that it was a bust.
Right.
And that we missed. And that cost us the playoffs this year.
Right. But to your point, I think to give Kraft more credit, he's done it. So he's seen it. So he knows what it looked like. I agree. You get what I'm saying? I mean, he can look at last year and be like, oh no, this is some bullshit.
Yeah,
everybody's got to go.
Yeah, no.
Like,
he's undoubtedly the best owner.
He doesn't slow dance with mediocrity like we've been forced to do because, you know, we just but finally have gotten off the floor over the last 4 years.
That's an excellent point because he's undoubtedly the best owner in professional football. You know, maybe one of the best owners in professional sports. I mean, no,
of this century, you would have to say without question.
Certainly one of the best owners in professional sports. Maybe the best owner in professional sports. Let me put that out there.
Okay. I mean,
maybe but certainly one of, you know, certainly one of. But and that said, with all of that being said, let me do a little diatribe for a minute. I don't like weather impacting the outcome of football games. Wind, rain, sleet, etc. They're all impediments that really don't need to exist because every NFL team can afford a dome. Let's throw it all out on the table. And for my football purists, I'm about to offend you right now. But let's get past the gameplay. Let's just get on to safety. Because the Chiefs-Dolphins AFC wildcard game in 2023 had a game time temperature of -4 degrees and wind chills of -27 degrees. And according to the National Weather Service and the Red Cross, being outside in wind chills below 13 degrees Fahrenheit is generally unsafe for prolonged exposure. The danger of frostbite and hypothermia increases significantly. There's a very famous photo from that game of a guy with his shirt off, painted up in Kansas City Chiefs colors. There is no need to expose players, fans, and vulnerable populations such as children and the elderly to dangerous temperatures so that football purists can have the elements. And I say that in air quotes. And just as a side note, it's important to note, I think, that Mile High Stadium at Invesco Field is going to be replaced with a dome stadium with a retractable roof by 2031, according to projections. Every stadium should be a dome stadium with a retractable roof. You can have a retractable, but it should be able to be closed because we don't need to see that. That just weather obviously interfered with that game. I'm not telling you that New England still wouldn't have won the game. I picked New England to win. And, you know, and I didn't have a rooting interest in the game, by the way. I didn't care who won. The Lions weren't playing, so it doesn't matter to me who wins. That's one of the nice things about your team not being in it. I have zero dog in the fight. I just don't like weather impacting the game. I want the best game possible. I want the players to decide the game. And I know football purists don't like that. They think everybody should be playing outside. There's no reason to allow weather to impact the outcome of a game like that. That's just one man's opinion. What say the people's champ, man?
Well, you know, I'm the people's champ. So if these fools want to go out and take their shirt off in minus 13 degree weather, I mean, I hope they have great insurance. I mean, I get what you're. I definitely think it makes sense to have the retractable option.
Yeah,
for sure. But I think the biggest thing that would, to counter your argument, and I'm just thinking from a business standpoint, I think the extreme elements just makes for good television. And I think
it looks nice.
And I think as long as you have that aspect, you know, I think eventually it'll get to what you're talking about, yes. but I think it'll be slow road because of that.
Yes, I agree. I think that some of the up north teams, the indoor stadiums, the outdoor stadiums will die hard. But I do think that as more up north teams build new stadiums, I do think that they will, more and more will be domed with retractable roofs. What you got, nephew?
So with that said, Are you for everybody in the NFL playing on grass fields?
I'm not against them bringing back grass. I do think that some of the injuries that we see are because of the artificial turf.
Okay. Yeah, that's my thing. What's better for the knees and for the concussions?
Exactly. Yeah, I think that I wouldn't be against that. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about bringing back grass. I think that that's something to definitely be explored. I'd be fine with that. Yeah, because again, like if you can open the retractable, because as a Lions season ticket holder, like when I go to games in September, even some in October, I wouldn't mind if we had a retractable and it was open, because some of those games, you know, like they're on nice days. But when it's a blizzard or when it's negative temperatures, man, close the roof and control the environment. Stop the nonsense. It's sitting here in a blizzard trying to play a football. I mean, what is the point?
Hey, man, these folks, I'm telling you, folks will do it.
Oh, no. And this is exactly, you asked me about the social sites this week. This is what I was going back and forth with people. People were offended by my position.
I can only imagine. Like, there's folks that live for that shit.
Yeah,
man.
they were the football purists did not like my position that every stadium should be domed. But
they watch games like that on TV with the what's that, the NFL films
music
music playing in their head.
Love it. But I stand on that. Let's get to the NFC Championship game, though. Seattle did beat the Rams 31-27 in the shootout. Sam Darnold was 25 for 36, 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Stafford was 22 of 35, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Let's give credit where it's due. Shout out to nephew. Sam Darnold outdueled and outplayed the presumptive league MVP, lifted his team to a Super Bowl berth. Does this vindicate Sam Darnold, or does he need to complete the run? And should Stafford go off into the sunset, or did he prove that he still got more left in the tank for another run next season? What say the people's champ?
Before you answer that, I got a couple Sam Darnold facts.
Okay, go ahead.
The one I think everybody pretty much knows about is Sam Darnold is the first quarterback of the 2018 class to make it to a Super Bowl.
Indeed.
And like he famously said in the press conference, he's actually already been on one as a backup.
Yeah.
But the second fact that was I was made aware of is Sam Darnold is the second quarterback ever in NFL history to win 14 games in back-to-back seasons.
Yes.
The only other quarterback to do that, Tom Brady, and we're not talking about Tom Brady at the height of his powers. We're talking about 2003, 2004.
Thomas Patrick Brady. Yep. Indeed, man. So what say the people's champ, man? Does this vindicate Sam Darnold? Does he need to complete the run? And should Stafford go off into the sunset, or did he prove that he still got more left in the tank for another run next season?
When you say vindication, I think, to me, when I hear that, it's the days of doubting Sam Darnold and second guessing Sam Darnold, I believe, should be over.
Mm-hmm.
At least they are for me.
Yeah.
To that point, yes. You know, I think he's definitely been vindicated to the point where, I mean, you know, teams were still considering him expendable.
Absolutely.
I mean,
this is what his 5th team.
I
mean, you're right.
I mean, I would pose this question to Justin Jefferson right now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? Because I'm sure he would probably love to have some Sam Darnold back in his life.
Yeah, what was he? Was Matt Brosmer was his quarterback to end the year. Yeah, he probably missing him some Sam Darnold right now.
But he's come a long way. He what's the term that everyone uses? He got it out of the mud, because he was pretty much that moribund franchise in Jersey, you know, to start there and be branded the savior there, to be cursed being called the savior there.
Man, listen.
And, you know, all the valleys that he went through to get to where he's at now, you can't do anything but give him credit. And
shout out to him.
And to the point, not only, you know, he outdueled Stafford. I mean, again, his worst 2 games this year were against the Rams.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, you know, they always say it's hard to beat, you know, to have a poor performance like 3 times against the same team, but to do a complete 180 like that, you know, it says a lot. And I think it was kind of representative of his career path, if you kind of look at it. Like, Sam Darnold's a mentally tough guy.
Yes.
And he went into that game with that performance, with those stakes against that guy on the other side. Shows he was locked in, and you got to give him credit. Sam Darnold's here.
Yeah. What about Stafford, man?
He's got plenty of gas in the tank. To me, it looks like.
I agree.
I think he can play. I mean, as long as his body, will allow him to play. I mean, he looks sharp. I'm sure with a few throws that he'd love to have back.
Of course.
But outside of that, I mean, I think it's a fairly safe bet. He'll win the MVP this year. So, I mean, if he wanted to, maybe he probably had going into his head he could win MVP, win a Super Bowl, and ride out like that. That would have been dope.
But yeah, he don't want it to end that way.
But the thing about it is, to get back, to a Super Bowl, and Sam Darnold's in his way now.
And it's hard. I mean, getting back to the Super Bowl is hard.
And just in his division, the 49ers are,
their division is murder.
Yeah, they're there. You get me in. So, if he wants to, I physically, I don't think it's any problem with him coming back. I guess it's just a matter of if he wants to put his body through that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I love a good stat, man. So Sam Darnold on 3rd and 4th down in that game was 6 for 9, 102 yards. Stafford on 3rd and 4th down, 0 for 7. It's the first game in Stafford's career that he didn't complete a pass on 3rd or 4th down.
Wow.
That was the difference in the game.
Without question.
So I was struck by a couple of things, though. First with Seattle, on the Seattle side of the ball. If you've watched Seattle all season, you know that they play this match zone. And I lauded it because the Lions this season were so bad at playing zone. They had zero clue how to play zone.
It was ugly.
How to carry, the receiver from one zone to the next.
It was bad.
And Seattle was the antithesis of that. They played a great version of a zone. They understood there was no free runners in their zone. But for some reason, when they played the Rams this year, they like to play a lot of man-to-man. They played a bunch of cover one, which is essentially a single high safety and man-to-man underneath. And I don't know what it is about looking across at Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua that makes you want to play man-to-man. But whatever it is, it's not the logical part of the brain.
It's like seeing them get naked. That's what they do against their defense.
I'm like, it's not the logical part of the brain that's doing it. It's the egotistical part of the brain that would encourage you to do that. But so that I was struck by that. I don't understand why, and they did it in all 3 of the games. They decided to play a lot of man-to-man, which, in my opinion, just invites those matchups.
In one game, Puka had like what 2?
Yeah, that's what he had, over 200 yards. Yeah, I'm like you're
that.
inviting these one-on-one matchups, but they did bow up when they needed to. That particularly again on that 4th down, those 3rd and 4th downs again, 0 for 7 on 3rd and 4th down for Stafford. And he was forced to try to throw to like a 3rd and 4th option. Most of the time on those downs, they would cover up his number 1 and number 2 option and really force him to maybe go to Parkinson or a Ferguson or a Mumfield. So I was struck by that. And Mike McDonald is an otherwise very, very good coach, man. But I don't understand the whole cover one thing. I do think Stafford is coming back. We talked about that. The roster is young. They have some ability to make upgrades. They draft extremely well. We talked about that. And when you play as well as he did, I mean, of course, you're not going to want it to end like that. And with respect to Sam Darnold, while I do think he silenced some of the critics, I think he needs to play well in the Super Bowl.
You don't want him to lay an egg.
He can't have a collapse. Yeah. He can't throw a bunch of interceptions. He has to prove, that the days of him essentially melting down in the big moments is over. And I think that he can do that once and for all on Super Bowl Sunday. So, but I do think that he silenced many critics on Sunday.
I think, like, again, to that point, I think what it was what followed Sam for some years was like, could he be like a franchise guy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it was always like, well, why did they get Sam Darnold? Or oh, they got Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
You know, I think you can say that he's a franchise quarterback.
Of course,
now.
yeah. Like these big moments is when, because we, you know, I think the past couple of years he's proven that during the regular season he can carry you, but still,
right.
You know, if I'm gonna be measured in my assessment, he still led the league in giveaways.
Yeah.
He had 21 giveaways throughout the regular season. Didn't turn the ball over on Sunday. We need to see more of that, though.
Yeah.
He's gotta value the football. He's gotta be good all the time. He's gotta value the football, no turnovers. And I think, again, if he can be good in these high leverage situations, this is the only question. There was only one question about him after this season, and that's whether or not he can be good in the high leverage situations, because he's had 2 back-to-back excellent, like nephew brought it up, back-to-back 14-win seasons. The only quarterback to do that is Tom Brady.
So seal the deal, huh?
Yep, go in and seal the deal. So I think that that this is it. I mean, I think if he collapses, if he has a bad Super Bowl, questions will persist, win or lose. I think he has to have a solid performance in the Super Bowl, whether they win or lose. What you got, nephew, before we transition?
So going back to Stafford and the Rams, looking ahead, you got the 2 picks this year in the draft.
Yep.
If you're the Rams, what do you do? Do you try to reach for a quarterback? Do you wait and grab one in the 3rd, 4th round? Or and see if you got something there? Or do you try to trade out possibly from the pick that's actually yours? Try to trade that out and try to find somebody who might try to do the same thing you did with Atlanta last year. Try to find somebody who may not perform next year so you can have a better shot at finding your future at quarterback.
Well,
for when Stafford eventually hangs up his cleats.
Go ahead. What you got? Well, I'll go first. What I would do, first of all, I would draft a defensive back. That would be first and foremost, because they pass defense, it's lacking. They need some help. A stud defensive back. Secondly, I would think, first of all, the 2027 class is supposed to be the really good quarterback class.
Right.
So I don't know that I would be clamoring for a QB in 2026. That's number one. Number two, we talking about Sam Darnold. With the way that some of these free agent quarterbacks have emerged, I don't know that I would be chomping at the bit to get a rookie necessarily. I might wait and see what's going on with a Mac Jones, because Mac Jones performed reasonably well this past year. Like he might be the next Sam Darnold. Like I might be looking for the next Sam Darnold if I was a Sean McVay. Like putting a veteran who has taken a couple of bumps and bruises into that Sean McVay system, I don't know that would be the worst thing in the world. I think that you could maybe keep the ball rolling a little bit as opposed to trying to put a rookie into that situation. So I think if I'm the Rams, I'm thinking more like that. I'm thinking about maybe filling some holes in my roster, particularly if I'm this close and Stafford is playing at this high a level, at an MVP level. I don't know that I'm thinking quarterback right now, because that seems like it's not as difficult to adjudicate as it once was, where you got to get a rookie and sit him down and teach him and put him in the quarterback room. And you might be able to just find a veteran. But what say the people's champ?
Yeah, the big thing for me is I just really couldn't think of a group of quarterbacks, coming into this draft that would make it a priority for the Rams per se.
Right.
Outside of that, like as long as you got Stafford playing at a high level, I think you maximize his window.
Yeah.
For right now, especially considering the return that you got from him thus far. So yeah, I think you just kind of placate to his window, his championship window, and build around that.
Yep. I agree. And then, we'll look at what's coming out in 2027, because there's supposed to be a lot of guys in that class.
So just as you mentioned it, notable quarterbacks, that would be free agents in 2027, along with Matthew Stafford. But in this hypothetical, Matthew Stafford's not coming back. Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, CJ Stroud has a club option. Anthony Richardson has his club option, which most likely would not be picked up. Mac Jones, like you mentioned, and Jameis Winston.
Yeah, see, I might take a stab at a Mac Jones.
The name that stands out to me is Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not, like with the Kevin Stefanski thing, I'm not sure that Deshaun Watson is dead in the water, but I would still be more intrigued by Mac Jones. Mac Jones would probably be my first call off of that list.
He played well this year.
He did. He played well in his time in San Francisco. He looks to me, like he could be, the next Sam Darnold, for lack of a better terminology. He could be that next guy where, he been bounced around a little bit. He's learned some stuff. He started out in kind of a tough situation. I mean, Bill Belichick is not necessarily a quarterback developer.
Right.
So I think he could be that next person, man. But let's preview the Super Bowl. We don't have to make picks now because we got another week. But let's take a look at I specifically want to focus on the quarterback matchup because we presumably have a young QB ahead of schedule. We've been talking a lot about Sam Darnold. This is a veteran quarterback. Again, I think he is on his 15. Who has more pressure, and who do you expect to handle the pressure better? And let me give a little pretext. Drake Maye presumably he's probably got less pressure by all accounts, right? Because he's in his second year, he's ahead of schedule. By all accounts, this is just the beginning, right?
Right.
That said, Joe Burrow would like a word because
and so would Dan Marino.
Exactly. Yeah. No, there's no guarantee that you're getting back. Just because you get there early. But they did have a lot of things break for them favorably. But that I pointed out last week, that seems to be the New England way. Sam Darnold, by every account, has the more favorable situation. Offensive line is better. His defense has been better over the course of the year. Running back is more proven. Number one receiver is more dynamic. He has more reps as an NFL quarterback. He's played a tougher schedule in a tougher conference in the tougher division. And he's already played a game in that stadium and won once. That's why his team is favored by 4.5. And he does have the burden of expectation now. I think most people will probably be picking the Seahawks to win.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think he's got the most pressure, but I think he'll probably be good. But Drake may ultimately play looser because, again, I just think that the commentary around him will be, this is just the beginning. He got plenty of time. Him and Vrabel going to be there for the next 10 years together. It's the best run franchise in the NFL. But what say you, man? Those are just some.
Well, that's the thing, man. I need Drake Maye to tighten it up a little bit. He's been, kind of playing a little too loose with the football.
Yeah.
I kind of want him to be a little more stiff with it, a little more secure with the ball, especially, with all the chips on the table for the Super Bowl. But to your point, I mean, the pressure, it would have to be more so on Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Just because, like you say, in our earlier conversation, the opportunity is kind of here to, I don't really care how humble you are when you kind of been through what he's been through. In the back of your mind, if you can seal this deal, you got some people that you want to say how you like them now too.
Exactly.
No
doubt.
What I'm saying?
Real talk.
It's just human nature.
Most definitely.
So, I think maybe internally, yes, there's probably more internal pressure on the side of Sam Darnold than more so Drake Maye. Because 23 just sees the world different.
Yeah, no doubt.
You were a mature 23-year-old, but 23-year-olds just see the world.
Still 23.
Yeah, they just see the world just different and pressure
definitely.
different. But then again, maybe to your point, it could just be one of those Patriot years.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man. To that point, man, and we don't have to stay on this long because we'll have more time to sort of break down the Super Bowl next week. But I'm thinking about the defenses that Drake Maye will have faced and beaten if he does win the Super Bowl. It's unbelievable because the Chargers defense outstanding. Houston's defense was outstanding. The Broncos defense was outstanding. I know you got a backup quarterback, but still, that's these defenses, and then Seattle's defense is no walk in the park. They might be the best of the bunch.
Yeah.
Frankly. And so if he does take down those 4 defenses en route to a Super Bowl championship at 23 years old, some conversations are going to need to be had. Because that will be a feat for some discussion.
Come on, man. One franchise can't have all that happening.
I know, man. Go ahead, nephew. What you got, man?
I just want to throw a couple past matchups by y'all real quick.
Okay.
And I just want to get y'all opinion if this year's quarterback matchup inspires you more than these past matchups. So the first one I got, Dilfer versus Collins.
I mean, I like this one better.
Okay.
I'll just say that.
Brad Johnson versus Rich Gannon.
I like this one better than that one too. I think these quarterbacks, again, they might be a little bit more underrated, even though Brad Johnson and Rich Gannon were pretty good throwers of the football too.
And Gannon lit it up that year.
He did.
And this the last one, because I think outside of that, pretty much every Super Bowl has had at least one future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, really dynamic.
Joe Flacco versus Colin Kaepernick.
That was the year of the Flacco run.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Flacco was cooking that year.
That was one of the best playoff runs. I mean, when we talk about Drake Maye and his playoff run, that run by Joe Flacco that year, shoot.
It was magical. Yep, that was Ray Lewis's last year, right?
Oh, God, yeah, the deer antler spray.
You know what? That's a good one, nephew. You know what? I might like that one a little bit more, actually. I might like Flacco and Kaepernick just because they are such interesting figures in the history of the NFL for different reasons.
And that Super Bowl was ridiculous with that blackout.
Yeah, with the black, right, with the power outage. Yeah,
sham, man.
And the Harbaugh brothers, facing each other in the Super Bowl. I mean, it was an interesting storyline, man.
Randy Moss's last game.
Yeah.
He could have caught the game-winning touchdown, win the Super Bowl. Yeah, it was a lot happening.
Yeah, it was. It was. Let's get into some of these coaching hires, man.
No,
because news broke today about the Cleveland Browns being the Cleveland Browns.
Man.
But we'll get to that one in a minute, man, because we got a few of them. So let's start with Baltimore, man. They hired Jesse Minter, previously the DC for the Los Angeles Chargers, longtime Jim Harbaugh assistant with the Ravens in various capacities before ending up as a defensive back coach in 2020. He was also the defensive coordinator at Michigan under Jim Harbaugh for the national championship run in 2023. I suspected that they would make a defensive hire. Baltimore needs to restore the defensive side of the ball, assuming that Lamar Jackson returns to form. Coupling him with the dominant defense seems, to always have been the appropriate recipe, man. But we'll say the people's champ.
Yeah, that was interesting. I think maybe a lot of that, the conversations that John Harbaugh had with the ownership in Baltimore on his way out probably had a lot to do with Minter getting in.
Yeah.
To kind of make that transition as smooth as possible.
Yep.
So not a big surprise. I think time will tell in terms of who he'll bring in and establish in terms of their offensive philosophy. I think defensively, he'll have an immediate impact because their defense was just so putrid last year.
Yes,
it was. Their defense was just bad.
Very bad.
So, I think he'll have an immediate impact there. But offensively, I think it's kind of a wait and see.
Yeah, I agree. And the Miami Dolphins hired Jeff Hafley, previously the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. He was also the head coach at Boston College for 3 years, from 2020 to 2023. Also a defensive head coach, a clear deviation from Mike McDaniels, who was an offensive guru. I mean, I don't have strong feelings about it. Don't really care about the Dolphins at all, frankly. Tyreek likely won't play much, if at all, next year. Tua is still owed a ton of money. They need tons of help everywhere on defense. I don't expect anything impactful for quite some time. But what say the people's champ?
The shit be sinking. I mean,
that part.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep playing the violins on that bitch if you want to, but I mean, the Miami thing is over.
Yeah,
it's
kind of how I felt. I'm like,
on.
all right, man.
Because I mean, like, I think McDaniel's just creativity was just kind of keeping Tua afloat.
Right.
And then you factor in who's going to be available to him next year, because I'm sure Waddle's gone.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea.
I mean, I don't know if he walking with the way that injury was with that
was a gruesome injury, and I doubt that he won't be back to start the year. I mean, he might be back at some point next year, I guess. But that was a gruesome injury. And even if he comes back, like, is he gonna be Tyreek? Like, that was a very nasty, and I don't think a lot of people appreciate the gravity of that injury. Man, that was a gruesome injury for a guy who depends very much on speed. He's not a precise route runner. It's not, it's not as if he's going to, evolve his position. Like, his whole thing is being fast. So, like, yeah, that's a very interesting situation. Buffalo Bills hire, or more aptly promote, Joe Brady, previously their OC. So we just promoting people in Buffalo
from within.
Yeah, why actually go out and find someone? You had a defensive problem and a defensive head coach. I complimented Joe Brady for being a really excellent OC, but this just feels like promoting Brandon Beane. I heard they were thinking about interviewing Sean McDermott for the defensive coordinator position. I'm joking, but this has been the most lazy hiring process that I've ever seen in NFL history.
Well, they just do a corporate restructuring.
Right.
I'm like, you, man.
What exactly is happening over in Buffalo, and like, where's the? But what say the people's champ? Any thoughts on Buffalo promoting the offensive coordinator to head coach?
It's like, what a joke. Like, what is going on over there?
I have no idea.
Like, I mean, you've got what some people have called the best football player ever here on your team.
Yeah.
I mean, they just need a couple of pieces, and I think just a recharge and a slight shift in philosophy.
Right.
I think they're better at more of an RPO type of team,
right,
where they can just kind of pound the ball. But I think when they lost a lot of receivers and Keon Coleman didn't really pan out the way that they wanted to, the option part just
I'm like, but what about getting a great defensive coordinator that could scheme it up? I mean, look at what Robert Saleh was getting out of San Francisco.
That's true.
So, like, I think they have better personnel than San Francisco had this year, with all of their best pieces, a lot of their best pieces down. So, man, I don't really get what's going on.
They still have a chance to nail a defensive guy, because they still didn't have the worst coaching search of the whole period.
Oh no, I'm getting to Cleveland. Cleveland Browns.
Man.
Thank you for helping me transition to the Cleveland Browns, hiring Todd Monken, previously the OC for the Baltimore Ravens. He's 59 years old. He is, in my opinion, I've made no bones about it, a very bad play caller. He's bad at situational football. He lacks creativity. He makes very poor use of his offensive weapons, but the good news is Cleveland doesn't have any offensive weapons. So what say the people's champ about Cleveland Browning up this coaching hire?
Yeah, I mean, surprise, surprise. If there was a worse move to be made, we know who'd make it, and they did it.
They did.
Shakur, get out of there.
Right, yeah, please.
Like, you're not doing yourself no favors there because they'll see to it that they won't do any for you. So just beat it and just get out of there, man. Good Lord.
They did all of that. They did all of these tests and having people do homework and whatnot. You're telling them, like, if you come in, we need you to keep Jim Schwartz. Why not just hire Jim Schwartz? Now you about to lose Jim Schwartz. And now if I'm Buffalo, that's who I'm going to get.
Okay, exactly. Now I like that.
Yeah, I like the Jim
Schwartz in Buffalo. I like that.
Yeah, that's who they need. They need a defensive guy.
But honestly, next year, Andrew Berry needs to be in the same boat as Brandon Beane. They both need to be working for their job.
Yeah. That's absolutely crazy.
And it's crazy that both of them are still there and they're hiring another coach because it's I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, this is the one I really wanted to discuss at length a little bit more. The Pittsburgh Steelers hired Mike McCarthy, previously the Dallas Cowboys head coach. This one I don't get at all. He's the oldest day one Pittsburgh Steelers head coach in history. 62 years old. He's obviously not going to coach for 20 years. This doesn't indicate to me that they're seriously considered doing what needs to be done, which is tearing it down and rebuilding. This could actually mean the unspeakable, which is bringing back Aaron Rodgers, who, in my opinion, is obviously seeing his best days. He doesn't want to get hit. He's temperamental. He blames his teammates, even when it's obviously his fault. He's only getting older and less effective. I mean, what is Pittsburgh doing with this hire? We need the people's champ to bring some clarity to the situation, man. We need you to talk Ty down, man. Help him. If Ty is watching, man, we here to help Ty.
I love you, brother. Hey, man, welcome. This is some shit the Lions would have did in 2001. I don't have anything for this.
When I saw this, I was like,
I couldn't believe. I was
what
like,
is
this
happening?
Is a joke,
right? Yeah, like, is the coaching pool this bad?
Who was looking for him?
Right.
That was my whole thing. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, they could have interviewed him last. Like, who was waiting on Mike? Like, he's been available all year.
Yeah, really.
Like, all year. Wow. And to your point, my second thought was, does this mean?
Right. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is coming back out. Yeah.
And then from there, as you can see the laughter.
Right.
I mean, dude, that man needs to be as far away from a professional football field next season as like the cameramen, dude. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, just don't do it. Because he's going to get seriously hurt, man. Yeah. Because he's playing not to get hurt.
Yeah.
And a surefire way to get your block knocked off in football is to play cautious and not to get hurt.
I agree.
So, there's no winners.
Yeah. I don't know what Pittsburgh is doing.
What are the terms of that deal?
I didn't even dig into the contract details.
Yeah, I couldn't get past, the little team logo. You know how they show the story? It was like the Pittsburgh colors and Mike McCarthy's picture. And I just said, wow, that is insane.
5-year contract.
Yeah. I don't get it. I really don't understand.
I guess 5 is just that number that they just throw out there. I guess that's just like the standard.
But they need to rebuild. They need to draft a quarterback once and what is the deal? Draft a quarterback once and for all. Start siphoning off some of these high price contracts that are not resulting in anything. I understand you backdoored your way into a division win, bro, but come on, man. You're not a serious contender.
No.
You're not a couple of pieces away. You need to rip it down to the studs and rebuild it.
Yep. Because their division is still, I would say, probably the most winnable in the league. Because I think you just have like a lot of ifs with a lot of teams.
That's true. Yeah, I think that. But on the other hand, a couple of guys stay healthy. If Lamar and Joe Burrow get healthy and stay healthy,
right,
it's back to being one of the hardest divisions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like This past season, everything broke right for him.
Right. So that's a fact. With Joe Burrow at this point, it's always a win.
Yeah.
In terms of ifs. It's like a win now with Joe Burrow.
But if they fortify the offensive line in front of him, and they can keep him upright. I mean, we know that.
Oh yeah, he's the killer.
Yeah, we know that how
but they
good
refuse to protect him.
Yeah, listen, that's another conversation entirely, man.
Maybe this decision is their way of saying 2026 is a chalk year, and we gonna bring Mike in, let wherever the cars fall where they fall, and then in 2027 try to find our quarterback. Because back to the question that Lance had asked at the end of the regular season, it was the situation that Lance had proposed with TJ Watt and Lamar Jackson could have actually happened. The Ravens picked before the Steelers that the year TJ came in, and the Steelers had a pick before they took Lamar with that second first round pick. So they could be, if you're not looking at 2018 at least and saying we screwed up when we could have had our quarterback. But maybe next year is the year you like, we can't screw it up. We gotta
get one of these guys.
I mean, I guess that the one thing we do know is that Mike McCarthy can develop a quarterback.
That's true.
He developed Aaron Rodgers. But are the Steelers actually going to draft a quarterback so that he can develop them? And he's 62 years old, right. So he don't have 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't have 5 to 7 year runway. You're going to have to develop somebody so that somebody else can take them over. And that's the other part. I don't really understand what Pittsburgh is up to, but
I just want to point out Kurt Sinetti is 2 years older.
Yeah.
I know it's a different game, though. Pro and college are two dope.
Yeah, exactly. Games. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I agree. I wouldn't hire Kurt Sinetti either if I was Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh likes to have a long runway with their.
Yeah, I mean, they've only had what, 3?
Yeah,
3 coaches.
That's 50 years. So at any rate, man, let's get to the Pistons, man.
Hey,
the trade deadline approaches. We'll have one more show before the trade deadline, but I have decided exactly what I want the Pistons to do at this trade deadline. And at this point, I want them to do absolutely nothing. Because these delusional GMs who want 2 and 3 first-round picks for any bum that's at the end of their bench,
that's insanity.
They can all go directly to hell. We not giving up. They want everybody and 2-3 first-round picks for any bum with a heartbeat.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not doing it. Like we was talking about Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga has played 30 minutes of basketball in the last month. And they talking about I'm reading articles talking about the Golden State Warriors front office is playing hardball about Jonathan. You have no leverage. Trade the man already for anything.
Yeah, I mean,
Steve Kerr is not playing him. What are you talking about hardball? You have no leverage. The guy does not want to be there. Steve Kerr does not want him there. He's not playing him. Trade him for somebody who you can play.
Yeah.
And trade him to some place where he can play. It's very simple. I'm not giving up draft picks for a guy that's not playing for you. Do you know we can read his game log?
Right.
Why would we do that? You're not playing him. He doesn't want to be there. He waited to the 11th hour to sign the offer sheet that you had. He begged you to let him go to Sacramento. He told you Steve Kerr didn't like him, and he told you he didn't like Steve Kerr. Y'all forced him to come back because he was a restricted free. If he was an unrestricted free agent, he'd be gone. Y'all forced him to come back because he was a restricted free agent. And things have gone exactly the way he told you they would go. He said, look, me and that man don't like each other. We don't. I don't know what the issue is, but we don't get along.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's become clear that the front office of the Golden State Warriors walked out the door when Bob Myers left.
Exactly.
Like, that's just clear. I mean, yeah.
The delusion.
Because their front office and some of the decisions that they've made, I would say over the last 5 years have just been absolutely nuts. But to the Pistons, I mean, I don't think there's anything out there at this current point where we should disrupt the chemistry of our roster right now. Like, I don't think there's a guy or a deal for a guy that puts us closer to a championship than we are right now.
Every trade rumor I hear, I'm less excited.
I mean, there's
Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I mean,
Jaren Jackson Jr.
No.
Michael Porter Jr. I'm like, no. And they want a king's ransom for all of them. I'm like, I'm not. What do you think I'm giving you for Klay Thompson Jr.? I might give you Marcus Sasser and Karis LeVert.
Yeah,
some cash considerations.
I don't think it's the names that's the problem. I think it's the asking price.
Right.
That's the
I'm like, y'all all delusional, bro.
I mean, what's Klay getting? Klay getting what, 24 a year?
That's what I'm saying. I might give you Karis LeVert and Marcus. They won't draft capital.
Yeah. Because they overpay for these dish rags that they get on their team that don't work out. Now they trying to jettison them on
Nico Harrison is not over here at the wheel, guys. I'm not giving you draft picks for Klay Thompson. No.
We remember the good times, Clay, but it has been over for a while, bro.
No.
And it happened.
He averaging, 11 points a game? I'm not trying to disrespect Klay. I understand Klay is a legend.
Right.
Nobody's giving up draft capital for Klay Thompson at this stage of the game.
It's not 2017. Bro.
Stop it.
So Klay's under contract for this year at 16.6 and then next year for 17.4. But he do has a 15% trade kicker in his contract.
I mean, listen, those are reasonable prices. You can get Marcus Sasser and Karis LeVert.
Well, we could have kept Tim Hardaway for 2.
That's what listen. Like it or not, right? And Tim Hardaway at this point is having
he's having a career year.
Yeah.
This year too.
He's a better option at this. Yeah, I'm like, man, where's Malik Beasley, dog? Come on, man. Is he still on the commissioner's
Malik
list?
Beasley, man.
Please,
can we get this man cleared for duty?
Stop the nonsense, man. And I got into an interesting conversation, man, about these blockbuster trades because we kind of talked about them. Like the last one that resulted in a championship was Anthony Davis, and they needed a pandemic and 5 months off.
Situation,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And 5 months off for the most injury-prone player in the NBA, not named Joel Embiid. Right,
yeah, that was a coup.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's the last blockbuster deal. And so, interestingly enough, man, I got into a conversation about Kevin Durant, and I'm like, Kevin Durant is an interesting situation because he's been traded all over the place. And I said, Kevin Durant is a great isolation player. I said, but Kevin Durant is not a force multiplier. This is the conversation that I got into. I said, he's not a lob threat. He's not a pick and pop player, so he doesn't enhance a traditional point guard. I don't like the term make other players better. I'm like, but he doesn't enhance other guys. I'm like, he's got a good back to the basket game, but not enough to draw consistent double teams, so he doesn't really enhance shooters. I said he's a good defender, but he's not a great one. He's not going to get a bunch of steals and blocks where he can start the break, so he doesn't enhance athletic wings and open court players. I said he's not a traditional ball handler or playmaker, so he isn't going to create for his teammates in general. I said what he is he's a great isolation scorer, maybe the best that I've ever seen, but that doesn't enhance his teammates. That's why at this point of his career, he's basically been reduced to a hired gun. And so somebody said, well, doesn't that describe Jordan and Kobe? I said, that's a good point, but the difference is they were both great defenders. So they would get knockaways and steals. Jordan's got one of the highest steals per game averages in history. Also, they both had their greatest success when they played in the triangle. The triangle offense made it extra punitive on the defense when you double teamed. Yep. And if you look at the rate at which they were both double teamed, it's extremely high because the triangle basically was designed to make defenses make a decision to try to trap the primary individual in the triangle offense. Yep. I said, Kevin Durant's never really played in the system because he's bounced all over the league. He's been this team and that team. I said, so he's not really a force multiplier. He's just a really great isolation scorer, which makes him very unique in history in terms of his place. But what say the people? What you got, nephew? And then I'll go to the people's champ.
Go ahead. My question is for after this.
Okay. What say the people's champ, man? What do you think about that assessment of Kevin Durant?
I think Kevin Durant is absolutely a force multiplier.
You think he is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know, I think it's a different kind of way because he isn't per se a dominant ball handler.
Right.
I think defensively, great would be a stretch.
Yeah, he's good, not great.
But I definitely think he's good and can be great on a good defensive basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. But yeah, I think Kevin Durant's definitely a false multiplier. I believe his uniqueness is what has always made him just a difficult fit because there's never really been anyone like him and have had the idea of a player like Kevin Durant really come to like realization on the court for an extended amount of time.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of like the first one like him where it was kind of like an extended exposure to what he can do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think maybe before him, it was of that mode, like a Jonathan Bender, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were talking like 7 feet guard skills.
Yeah.
Like legit guard skills. So I think after him, there'll be even more conducive versions of him.
Yeah.
Because there'll be teams able to placate around a player like him because they would have seen it.
Yeah.
But to just say I think just to kind of reduce him to just like a elite hired gun is kind of a disservice to what all I think he can do. I think there's nothing on the basketball court that Kevin Durant can't do.
Yeah, I mean,
at a high level.
I would actually agree. But the point that I was making is like I think that really great players, you know, like I think that really great players in their prime, you put them on any team, it's automatic 50 wins. Mm-hmm. Prime Shaq, put him on any team, 50 wins. Prime Jordan, any team, 50 wins. Prime Kobe, put him on any team, automatic 50 wins. Prime LeBron, put him on any team, it's an automatic 50 wins. I don't feel that way about Kevin Durant. If you put Kevin Durant on a team with other great players, he fits right in because he is a great player. If you put Durant on just any team, it's not going to work. He's not going to enhance anybody else around him because the skills that it's not a knock on him, it's just an observation. The skills that he has doesn't enhance the guys around him. He's really great unto himself. Now, you could put him in a system where his skills could be used to enhance the guys around him, but he's not a natural playmaker. He's not a natural pick and roll guy. He's not a back to the basket guy that's going to draw a bunch of double teams. He's not naturally that. He could be used that way, but he's not naturally that. Naturally, he's a great isolation scorer. That's what he is naturally. But if you put him on a team with a bunch of other dudes, he's going to be
the coldest dude on that team.
Of course.
So like, what are we saying?
But the other guys is just going to be the other guys.
I mean, he was on a team with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, and he was the best player on that team.
Yes. Yes, because
like a 72-win team, he was the best player on that team.
But they won 73 the year before he got there and 67.
Yeah, right.
67 the year.
For sure.
Because
he was the best player on that team.
He was, but surrounded by other great players.
Right.
He would be the best player surrounded by other great players. He's going to
likely be the best player on any team he's on.
That's true. I'm not denying that. I'm saying that the other guys is just going to be the other guys, though. Like if you put even LeBron is a playmaker. You put LeBron on a team with other guys that are not great, they win in 50 games because LeBron is going to elevate what they do. He's going to penetrate and draw a bunch of defense, and guys are going to get better open looks. Kevin Durant's not going to do that. Kevin Durant going to do what he do.
Right.
But he ain't gonna create open shots for everybody else.
He was a toe away from taking the Brooklyn Nets to the finals without Kyrie hurt.
He was. He was.
I mean, like, I just don't know. I think you're minimalizing what he does on the basketball court. Like, I don't think he has, like, say, like a Steph's gravity offensively.
Yes.
You know, because I get what you're saying to that point, but
I think he can. Like I think in that game he had 14 assists in the toe game.
Mm-hmm.
He was being a playmaker. That's not his natural game,
right?
Though.
But
like,
I think if the situation calls on it, he can do whatever the game requires. Now you're saying he's primarily like in his, his just basic static mode.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, I can see that, but I just think you put him on the court and whatever the game needs, Kevin Durant's gonna give it to you. And you gotta live with that.
Yes, he can ball. I'm not telling you that he's not one of the greatest individual scorers ever. I just don't think he's a force multiplier.
But when I hear not a force multiplier, like I said, this is just me.
Yeah.
When I hear that, it just makes it sound like what he does is like empty calories.
No. I don't think that, because I think if you put him on the team with other great players, he's definitely going to fit. You ain't going to be like, oh, he out of place out there. No, you're going to be like, oh, no. He a beast, because I think his skill set is a skill set that fits with other great players. But I think you need the right kind of players around him in order to enhance him. It ain't like you could just roll the ball out with anybody. I think he needs the right set of circumstances in order to enhance what he does.
I think you need the smart enough guy to know when and where to get him the ball, and when he kicked it to you, don't let him down, and you'll be straight.
Yeah, I mean, I see. I don't think it's quite that simple with Kevin Durant.
I do,
and I think that's why he been to so many different places, because
I think he's been so many places because when it doesn't work out, he's the first scapegoat amongst the team of a lot of other stars that sometimes don't carry their weight too. And, he don't go for that shit, so he has to get up out.
But that's because he ain't about to, like, he gonna do what he do. Like, people expect him to come and, like you said, I think you used the right word, to have gravity and to make the game easier for them. It's not gonna get easier for you just because Kevin Durant is there. Like, Steph Curry is gonna make the game easier for other people because he draws so much attention because of the way that he can shoot the ball, that it's gonna open up the floor for other people. Kevin Durant's game is not necessarily that way.
No, it's different. It is different.
Kevin Durant's game is different. He's not going to draw a bunch of looks. And also, he's, like, he'll get some steals, he'll get some blocks, but it's not going to be enough where he's starting to break and you can run out based upon his defensive effort. He going to get some defensive effort, but it ain't going to be enough where you like, I'm constantly running out because of the defense that he playing. It's a difference where I don't think that he's enhancing everybody around him. Like, he balling and he gonna put up great numbers, but I think people get him expecting a particular thing, and I think they don't always get what they expect. Like last year, the Houston Rockets, 64 win percentage or 63.4. This year, 64 win percentage. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same thing that I said about the edge. He like a great edge rusher. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but they're experimenting with Amin Thompson playing point guard.
I mean, that's true. They lost Fred VanVleet.
I mean, like that.
That matters. That matters. I ain't gonna knock that. But the year before he got to Phoenix, they won 45 games. Year after he got there, they won 49. So they got a few, they got a few more games, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I think people expect him to come in and elevate the situation heavily, and he enhances it because he's a great player. Of course.
But they also thought that Bradley Beal was going to come there and not be Allie McBeal.
I mean, I don't know.
Like, I mean,
but we
was expecting 26 to 29 a night. It's just giving you 14, dog.
Yeah, there wasn't no chemistry with that. I don't know what that was, but go ahead, nephew, man, before we transition, man.
I just want to circle back to the trade deadline real quick. Like you said, our next episode is the night before, and it's going to be a lot of smoke and fire out there by that point. Question I got for y'all is, Is Giannis still in Milwaukee Buck by the time we come back on the air?
Yes.
Yes. Without a doubt.
I don't think they can find a dance partner.
Not at all.
They need one.
The asking price is too high.
Yeah.
People are not giving up the kind of stuff that they want when it's not going to guarantee you get no hardware. I just can't see it.
I think the offseason he's gone.
Yeah, I agree.
The offseason he's gone.
Yeah, like they'll figure something out because Miami is maneuvering.
But I say that to say, about a year ago, on a Saturday at about midnight, a message came across the sports ticker that I thought I would never see.
I thought it was Dad by Sports,
man.
Bro. I'm like, ain't no way.
Listen, it was so outrageous that when the names were coming across, in my mind, I'm thinking, I hope nothing bad happened.
Right.
Because trading just wasn't even remotely on the bingo card. So, to say never, say 0%, I would say no. But I would say like high, maybe like 80, 90%, I would say no. But never say never with the NBA, man.
Michigan State, man. They play on Friday. Give me a prediction, man.
I like the Wolverines, man.
You know what? I'm a Spartan fan, but I actually do too. I think y'all are slightly ahead of us at this stage of the game. Y'all just beat Nebraska last night. They were 20-0. Y'all gave them their first loss. Y'all 19-1. We've taken a couple of losses. We went into overtime with Rutgers. I think it'll be a hard-fought game.
Always.
I expect y'all to slightly edge us out this time of year. We ain't quite ready yet. But what you got, nephew?
I just want to say all our teams right now is in first place, no matter how we look at it.
Gotta love it.
Michigan's in first place. Michigan State's in first place. Yep. And I just want to give a shout out to my alma mater, Bethune-Cookman, first place in the SWAC right now.
Okay,
so,
let's go. Let's go,
Bethune. We nothing but first place fans over here.
Yeah. SWAC if Neff ain't SWAC.
And Shakur versus Teofimo this weekend, man. Give me a prediction, man. What you got?
Hey, I hope that this jumps off the 2026 fight calendar like 2025 jumped off, but I do like Shakur, man. Brick City in the building.
Yep, I like Shakur too. I like him by decision. I like him to outbox Teofimo, but I'm hoping for an entertaining.
Teofimo's tough. He's tough.
For an entertaining tilt. And we'll see, man, what this brings us. Like you said, man, hopefully, this brings in 2026 with a bang. What you got, Neff?
Hopefully Teofimo was at that brand risk event and was like, yeah, I got to do better than this.
But we'll end it on that.
Oh, no thoughts on Bill?
Oh, Bill Belichick being snubbed for the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I mean, it's very weird. I understand that, the Deflategate controversy and the Spygate controversy, they didn't got caught a couple times recording people's stuff, but I mean,
you can't let him bear the brunt of that.
Nah, man.
They lost the Super Bowl that year. I just want to remind people of that.
Yeah,
but it's the thing about it is we know Tom's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Man. You get what I'm saying? And it just exposes how when the NFL wants to, whenever they feel like it, just expose who they really are to it. They're a petty league. I think spiteful league.
I think that's Hall of Fames in general.
Yeah.
I think we got to get over this. We got cheating is okay here and cheating is okay, not okay here. Like it's one way or the other. Like, come on now. Like it just don't mean. The man has 8 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I mean, stop it, bro.
Like, what are we doing?
He's the greatest coach in NFL history.
Like, man. That's crazy.
Without a doubt. If he ain't a first ballot Hall of Famer, there ain't a first ballot.
Like,
Hall
who
of Famer.
is?
Yeah.
Especially if you're so that like sets a precedent going forward that like no elite coach in the NFL can get in on the first ballot.
And not on top. And on top of that, it's not. It's not only that he was the coach for those 6.
Yeah.
I'm just because I'm the Giants tenure, that's just the little sprinkle on top. But for those 6 Super Bowls, not only was he not just the coach, he was the GM as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
So that's like Pete Carroll ain't never getting in.
Man, listen.
Like like this
yeah, I mean, right. No elite coach can go in on the first ballot.
And
man.
If Bill Polian was really behind this, that's a real Richard move, dog.
Yeah, I mean, that's real silly. Bill
and he's a
Belichick.
better executive than Bill Ponian if you really look at it. Like,
yeah. I mean, listen,
he's really
the
behind.
wheels came off at the end with his, tenure with New England, but still, like, I mean, the guys, they first ballot.
Most epic rides do.
Of course.
You get what I'm saying? Like the fall usually rivals the ride.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and listen, I mean, like you age out. And that's the thing. I mean, like old defensive coaches, like I said, listen, young defensive coach, yes. Young offensive coach, yes. Even old offensive coach, yes. Old defensive coach, no.
And I think, man, this is one time where I wouldn't really be mad if Goodell grabbed this pair and be like, hey, look now.
Right. Yeah.
Like, especially considering his tenure as commissioner came a lot up under that New England way,
regime,
way.
Man.
Because this is silly, man. This makes no sense.
It's bizarre.
It puts a slight stain on what should be argued as probably one of the greatest Hall of Fame classes of all time. Because you got Breeze that's going to go in. You probably got Fitz that's going to go in. Like, those three by themselves is...
But how did Breeze win his Super Bowl?
It's just...
Right. Bounty gate.
No,
but see, we bringing up all this old shit. I mean, it's your fault. It's not your fault, but...
No, I'm saying like
we talked about the Flake gate.
It's just crazy to me. And then on top, I know it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but going back to what we were saying about coaching trees when Mike Tomlin got that go, Bill Belichick, you can pretty much say he's responsible for the greatest college football head coaching tree out there.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Yep. Saving, yeah.
So it's just
it's insane. It's petty. It's like I said, in the NFL, they decide when they want to get petty, and I mean, they just showed us in the spring with Shakur Sanders.
Yeah.
When they want to flex on you, they will flex on you. They did it to T.O. with his Hall of Fame.
Yeah, this is bizarre.
Having a campaign to get in for 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So when they want to make, I don't know why they decided to make, because this is a story now that should not have never been.
No,
this should has not have been a story at all. And now they have a story because, again, now we're talking about Deflategate. Now we're talking about
Spygate.
Spygate again. And again, now when Brady comes up, it's like, how do you reconcile? I mean, of course, we know Tom Brady's
a first ballot Hall of Fame
without question, and so is Bill Belichick.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, how are they trying to reconcile this? We're gonna make him the figurehead for this, and not Bob Kraft.
Yeah, I agree. Like, no, come on, guys. You got to stop the foolishness, man.
That was whack. That was whack as hell, dude.
Yeah, but thank y'all for joining us, man. Yeah, I almost forgot to get to the Bill Belichick thing because I mean it's so ridiculous, but it is worth a conversation, man. We appreciate everybody has one family as usual. Make sure y'all continue to like, share, and subscribe. That's Everybody Has the #1 sports podcast on YouTube. That's Everybody Has One spelled out sports podcast. Everywhere else, that's Facebook, that's Instagram, that's Threads, that's Twitch, that is TikTok, and that I must in Facebook. Facebook.
There's so much at this point.
Yeah, man. Right, man. Y'all
everywhere.
We also the audio version of the podcast is also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Man, I forgot to say that at the beginning. So y'all make sure, man, that y'all hitting us up in all of those different locations. If there are topics that y'all want to hear, make sure y'all hit us in those direct messengers. Also, when y'all watch those videos, make sure y'all watch them in their entirety, man. Watch the podcast back in its entirety as well. Watch the clips in their entirety. Watch the shorts in their entirety. Throw them on in the background for background noise, man. Fall asleep to them. Do whatever you got to do, man, to watch them in their entirety. We need y'all to give us that watch time, man, and we appreciate it so very much, man. We will see y'all back here next week, Wednesday at 8:30, man, 8:30-ish, or as close as we can get to it, man. We appreciate y'all, man. It's the Everybody Has One podcast.
Super Bowl still a go?
You know what? It's up in the air, man, but we gonna keep the Everybody Has One family posted, man. But join us back here next week, and we'll give y'all all of the details on if we gonna be, where we gonna be, if we need to be, whatever it is, man. So,
or plan B.
Yeah, whatever it is, man. So we'll let y'all know, man. But it's the Everybody Has One podcast.